Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining today. We are going to be working on a really beautiful Lion Brand pattern for this gorgeous dress. It happens to use one of my favorite yarns, which is the Lion Brand Coboo yarn, and it has some pretty simple stitches and patterns in here that I think you can follow, but I think you'll see here that the result is just gorgeous. So I hope you'll join me on this wonderful adventure. So stick around and we'll talk about the materials that are next. Okay, let's take a look at the materials that we will need for this wonderful project. Now I am going to be making a size small for this dress. So for that, I'm going to need 7 of the Coboo Lion Brand. This is Lion Brand Coboo. If you've seen my videos before, you know this is one of my favorite yarns of all times. This is a weight 3, and there's about 232 yards here, or 100 grams. And I'm doing it in the color tan. Now, the Lion Brand Coboo has several different really beautiful colors in this really nice soft yarn. So you of course can do whichever color you'd like, but I'm gonna do this particular one that I think would look nice for summer, nice and light. But like I said, beautiful colors out there, pick whichever one you want. So for this size, I'm gonna need 7 of these, so that's what we'll start with. I'll also need a 3.75 millimeter hook. This is also an F if you need that reference as well. So we'll use a 3.75 millimeter hook. You'll want some place markers. I love these little ones that have the hooks that don't close all the way. They're just really easy to get in and out. And tapestry needle, of course, for weaving in the ends, and scissors. So that's what you'll need to start this. So go ahead and get all your materials together, come on back, and we'll talk about first steps. Okay, so we're ready to begin, but there's a couple things that we probably need to know about before we start. So for starters, this pattern is going to be made in 3 sections. You're going to have the actual body of the dress, and then you'll have 2 arms that you'll do separately. When we do the body of the dress, we're actually going to do this in the round, and we're going to start from the actual bottom of the dress and work our way up, not top down, but we're going to work bottom up. There's a few different sections of the dress as you go up, and those are the different patterns that we'll talk about while we go up. But it's one big body of the dress, starting from the bottom going on up. When we get to where the underarms are, that's when we'll separate out and stop doing it in the round, and we'll do the front, and then we'll go around and do the back, and then the sleeves. But just so you know, what we're starting with is the very lower hem, or the edge of the dress. We're going to do this in the round, and we're going to work our way up. Now, for the small, we're going to need 222 single crochets on your chain. Now, I prefer that we do a foundation single crochet, because what you'll need to do is you'll need to do a chain of 222 and join, and then single crochets all the way around. So I don't like doing it that way for several reasons, one of which it's really easy to get that chain twisted. I know there are some tricks and tips you can use. For me, I've done those if the chain isn't too long, but this is 222 stitches, and then another 222 because you're going to do the single crochet all the way around there too. So I like to combine that all in one. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with doing a foundation single crochet of 222. Now, that causes a little bit of an issue when you want to join it, because then you have the single crochet to join and the original chain to join, which I know there's a lot of different methods, but I can show you when we get all the way around our our foundation single crochet. I can get, when we get all the way around, I can show you how to join that through crochet, and it will work perfectly, guaranteed. And then we can go on and continue that way. Now, if you don't know foundation single crochet, I will have a link in the description box so that you can watch my tutorial on how to do a foundation single crochet. Or if you really don't like doing the foundation crochet, single crochet, and you'd rather just do chains and then single crochet, please do so. You'll want to chain 222 and then join, and then you'll want to do a row of single crochets on top of that chain. So whichever method you prefer, like I said, I'm going to do the foundation single crochet. So I'm just going to start a few of these so that we can get this done, and then I'll let you go ahead and finish the 222 chain and single crochet, however you've chosen to do it, and then we can come on back and talk about the joining the slip stitch for using that with a foundation single crochet row. So in case you're not familiar with how to do that. So I'm going ahead here and I am doing the foundation single crochet. One thing I'll mention, if you have not used this yarn before, it is my favorite. I absolutely love it, but it's a multi-ply yarn, and you can see, I'm going to bring it up a little closer here. You can see it can all just come apart pretty easily. See that? There's so many strands in there. So with that in mind, I kind of like to take my time because I really want to make sure that it's as neat as possible. I'm not as much into rushing or hurrying throughout a stitch, and this way it just makes sure that I don't get any of those strands of the plies caught or separated, because it is kind of easy to do with this yarn. That's probably my only complaint, but I really like it. I like the feel of it. I like how easy it is to use. I like how nicely it comes together. Yeah, see, do you see I just separated that little ply right there? So I like to kind of take my time and make sure I have it as neat as possible. Yeah, see, I missed a couple there. There we go. So go ahead, get this done. You should end up with a chain and single crochet row of 222 when you're done. When you're done with this, come on back and I'm going to show you how to join both the foundation chain that you made as part of this and your single crochet row. You don't have to use a tapestry needle or sew it in or anything like that. I'll show you how to do that when you get back. So when you get 222, come on back here. Okay, so I'm back and we've finished putting in our foundation single crochet row, and you should now have done 222 foundation single crochet. And now we need to join that. So to do that, you want to make sure you find the very beginning without twisting anything. Okay, here's the beginning, and you're going to bring that around as if you're going to join it, right? So now if you remember, set this down so I have that where I need it. If you remember, we have both a foundation chain and the single crochet here that we need to join. So we need to join two things. So I know I told you to put in 222, but I'm going to ask you to back off one and go back to 221, because we have to actually join it on the very last one. So in my example here, I have 221 foundation single crochet, and I'm going to start as if I'm doing my last foundation single crochet. Okay, so I'm going to go through the chain that I had just made, right, and I'm going to bring up my loop. Now normally I would do my chain right there, right, and just go through one, but we want to do that, we want to do it with the other end, because we're going to join both the chain and the single crochet. So let me make sure I've got this straight and not crooked. There we go. Okay, so when you put this through, here is your other end, okay? So here's the slip stitch that you started with, right? This is the top part where the single crochet is. Here's the foundation chain right here, and it starts right here. So if you can see in that lower corner, that's where your first foundation chain is, okay? That's where we're gonna enter. So you want to put your hook through that lower chain, okay? And then yarn over and go through that, and yarn over and go through the first one on your hook from the other side. So what you've done is you've made that foundation chain like you were doing a normal foundation single crochet, but you included the other side of this circle here, okay? Now go ahead and finish and do your single crochet. And you've done it with one exception. Now you have to slip stitch into the top of the other side, as if you were just coming around and you were going to join, you were going to slip stitch in the top. We still need to do that. So this is the left side, here's the right side, here's that first single crochet, right? So we went through the chain here at the bottom, here's the first single crochet. You're going to go into that single crochet and do your slip stitch. So what you've done is you've joined the foundation chain at the bottom, and you've joined the single crochets on the top here with a slip stitch. Okay, we're going to just do that one more time. I'm sitting here thinking I should probably do a tutorial on joining foundation row stitches, like a double crochet, foundation double crochet, or a foundation single crochet. All right, so here I am, I'm at 221. I'm going to go do my last foundation single crochet. So I go under both, okay? I'm going to pull that through like I'm going to start. Now before I do my single crochet there, I'm going to pick up my other end, make sure it's all straight, okay? There's that lower corner here, the very first chain. I'm going to go ahead and stick my hook in there, take my yarn, I'm going to go through that, and then through the first of the two on my hook. So there's the chain, and it's joined here now. I'm going to finish my single crochet, and now I'm going to go into the top single crochet and do my slip stitch to join. All right. There we go. It is joined, it is in the round, and you did it as a foundation single crochet and saved a bunch of steps. And quite frankly, the look of a foundation single crochet just gives you a nicer edge at the bottom anyway, so I really prefer that. Okay, so for round two, actually this is this is round one. This is all your setup round. So if we take a look at round one, we're going to start our very first pattern. So a reminder, we're at the very bottom, around the bottom of the skirt of this dress, and this is pattern one. So for pattern one, you want to go ahead and chain 3, and that's going to count as a double crochet. And in the same stitch where you did your join right there, you're going to do 2 more double crochets. There's 2, and there's 3. So what you have here, oh, that's not good. See, sometimes those, when you have multiple plies like that, they get a little messed up. So that's okay. Take your stitch out and do it again so it looks nice and neat. Okay. Now, what you have here are basically the equivalent of 3 double crochets, okay? And this is going to be pretty much our pattern all the way around this row. Now what you want to do is skip the next 2 stitches, so skip there, and in this third one, you're going to want to do 3 double crochets. So we'll do 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so there's your 3 double crochets there. You're going to skip 2, and then the next one, you're going to do 3 double crochets. That one got stuck too, sorry. I don't want that to look pulled like that, so take it out and do it over. There we go. Okay, so what you can see here, 3 double crochets, skip 2 stitches, 3 double crochets, skip 2 stitches, 3 double crochets. You're going to follow this pattern all the way around until you get to the end, and then you should have those 2 stitches left here that are the ones you're going to skip. So when you get all the way around, come back here and we'll talk about the next row. Okay, I went ahead and finished that pattern all the way around. It's actually really pretty and really pretty start there. All the way around, and then I need to do a slip stitch to the beginning or the top of the chain 3 to join that. And then we'll start row 2. Now for row 2, we want this to be a double crochet 3 tog, so these 3 double crochet together, but of course we need to start with a chain, so it's actually going to only end up being a 2 tog. I'm going to do a chain 2, and then I'm going to double crochet these 2 together to make that first one look like a 3 tog. So if you don't know what I'm talking about with double crochet 3 together or a 3 tog or a 2 tog, yes, I have a tutorial for those as well. But I'm going to go ahead in this second double crochet and start my double crochet, yarn over, and then I'm going to do in the third one, start my double crochet and yarn over. Oops. Okay, so now I have 3 on the hook and I'll go through all 3. So that's going to count as our first 3 tog, double crochet 3 tog there. Okay, now you want to chain 2 and you want to skip this first one, and in the middle of that next group of 3 there, you're going to want to do a double crochet. Okay, easy. Chain 2, and then for the next group of 3, you're going to want to do a double crochet 3 together, or a DC 3 tog. So we'll go ahead and do that. So yarn over, start your double crochet but don't finish it. Yarn over, start your next double crochet, don't finish it. Yarn over, start your third double crochet but don't finish it. All right, so you have, there we go. So you have those 4 on the hook, and then you'll want to go through all 4. And there you have your 3 tog there. So you kind of get the pattern there. You're going to chain 2, right? And your next group of 3, you're going to do a double crochet in that middle one. So go ahead and do a double crochet in the middle. Chain 2. Okay, so we did a double crochet in the middle there. Here's your next group of 3. We're going to do a double crochet 3 tog there. On the hook, and we'll go through all 4. Okay, and then you're going to repeat that all the way around. So you're going to chain 2, do a double crochet in the middle of the 3, chain 2, okay, so we did the middle one there. You're going to do a 3 tog here, and continue that pattern. You can see that here. Continue that pattern all the way around until you get back over here, and we will talk about next steps when you get there. Okay, so we finished that pattern all the way around. You have your double crochet 3 together, and then your double crochet alternating all the way across, or all the way around. And we've come back to the end of this row here. You should have ended on a double crochet. We will go ahead and chain 2, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of that very first 3 tog. Well, in this case it was a 2 tog to start the row, and we'll do a slip stitch there and join that row. Now we're going to start the next row, and it's going to be exactly the opposite of the row that we just did. So wherever you have a 3 tog, you're going to do a double crochet, and wherever you have a double crochet, you're going to do a 3 tog, and each of those separated by 2 chains, just like we did down below. So it's going to be a little bit different. So to start this, we have a double crochet, and that's going to start with a chain 3 for the first double crochet, and then we need to chain 2, because we do a chain 2 in between each of these. So that first stitch here is going to be actually 5 chain, and that'll count as your first double crochet and your chain 2. And then you want to come over here where you have these spaces and a double crochet here, and we want to make a 3 tog out of this, but we don't really have 3 stitches. So here's how we're going to do this. You are going to yarn over and go through that first chain 2 space and draw up a loop. Okay, go through the first 2 as if you're doing a double crochet and stop. So we did that in the space. Now for the next one, you're going to yarn over and go through the double crochet that's there, draw up a loop, and go through just the first 2. Right, so now you have 3 on your hook. Okay, and then for the third part of the 3 tog, you're going to go through this next space, and you're going to yarn over, go into that chain 2 space, draw up a loop, and pull through 2. Now you should have 4 left on your hook, just like a normal 3 tog. And then you're going to yarn over and go through all 4 on your hook, and then chain 2. Okay, so you see we did that 3 tog, but we did it with the spaces and the double crochet as opposed to 3 stitches down there, right? Okay, so we did a chain 2, and now we're going to do a double crochet in the top of this 3 tog from the previous round. All right, there's your double crochet. Then you want to chain 2, and now we have to do another 3 tog here with these spaces. So you'll do a yarn over and go through the space and start your double crochet, yarn over and go into that double crochet, draw through 2, yarn over and go through the space and draw through 2, 4 on the hook, yarn over and go through all 4. All right, so you've done another 3 tog with those 2 chain 2 spaces. Chain 2, and you're going to do a double crochet in the top of the 3 tog from the previous round. Oops. There we go. Okay, so you can see it's just the opposite, right? 3 tog over the double crochet over the 3 tog, and you'll continue to do that all the way around until you get back over here to the beginning. So go ahead and do that round all the way around here, and when you get back here to the end, meet me back here and we'll talk about next steps. Okay, so we finished that round all the way back to the beginning here, and we should end with we have this final 3 tog over the chain 2 spaces. We're going to chain 2, and then we're going to slip stitch. Now remember, we did a chain 5 here at the beginning. The chain 5 counted as the first double crochet, and it counted as the chain 2. So what we want to make sure that we do when we do our slip stitch here is we slip stitch into the 3rd chain. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to slip stitch right into here, okay? And that's going to be slip stitching into the top of the, oops, I want to get that in the right spot there. There we go. It's like slip stitching into the first double crochet. We just have it as a chain 3. And then you still have these 2 chain here that are your 2 chain there. So see, your 3 tog, 2 chain, double crochet, 2 chain, 3 tog. Yep, so you've continued that pattern. Now, one thing before we go to row 4, we've got a few rows here, so I just want to take a minute and make sure a couple of things. First of all, if you're doing the size small like I am and you did 222 chains as you're starting, you should end up with 37 of these 3 togs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should have 37 all the way around. So that's one way to know that you're doing this correctly, is that you have 37 of these 3 togs all the way around. The second thing that you want to make sure of is you want to check your gauge. It's important to, if you want the sizing to be correct, that your stitches are the right tension, the right size and all that, which you can always adjust with your hook if you need to. But for this particular exercise, if you take a look at these, so what you want to do is you want to have 5 of these groupings. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of these groupings, including the 2 chain, right? So from here to here, you want that to be about 6 3/4 inches, right? So it's starting with the 2 chain and ending around this 3 tog right here. So you're looking for that to be about 6.5 to 6 3/4 inches. If you've got that with the stitches that you're doing so far, your gauge is good and you can continue, but you'll just want to check that to make sure that your sizing is correct and comes out as you anticipate it. Okay, now we're going to go to row 4 and we're going to continue this back and forth look here. So to do this, we're going to start with a chain 3, 2, 3, that counts as a double crochet, and we're going to double crochet into this first chain 2 space. Now I know that this is not a complete 2 tog. We'll finish it when we come back, or excuse me, a 3 tog. We'll finish it when we come back around, okay? So we're going to make the rest of this on the return end. So now that we've done that, let me free up my yarn here a bit. Okay, now that we've done the chain 3 and the double crochet in that first chain 2 space, now we're going to continue this pattern. So chain 2, okay, then you've got the 3 tog from the row before. You're going to go ahead and put a double crochet in the top of that stitch. Okay, then chain 2. When you go here, you understand now that we do the 3 tog over the chain 2 spaces. So the space, the double crochet, and the space. And there's our double crochet 3 together there. Then you're going to chain 2, and you're going to double crochet on the top of the 3 tog from the previous round, chain 2. Now you're here, you're going to do that 3 tog over those chain 2 spaces. So there's the space, there's the double crochet, there's the space, right? Okay, and you're going to continue this pattern just like you did the previous row all the way around. And go ahead and finish that up. And then when you get back over here, come on back and I'll show you how to finish this 3 tog that we started in this round. And then we'll talk about how we repeat this after you come back. Okay, so we've continued that one all the way around as well. And to finish off row 4, so we had a double crochet in the 3 tog from the row before, and we chained 2. Now remember, I said we hadn't finished this 3 tog at the beginning. We're going to end it here. So go ahead and do a double crochet in that chain 2 space right there, and then you're going to slip stitch not into this chain but into the double crochet over there, and that'll give you that final 3 tog there. Okay, that is rows 1 through 4. Now what you're going to do from here is you're going to repeat 3 and 4 until you have 18 total rounds. So we've just done 4. You need to do 14 more by repeating rows 3 and 4. So you can go back and you know, play back those if you need to, but just a reminder. So for row 3, oops, we've got the 5 chain, which counts as a double crochet and 2 chain. And then you're just going to go back and forth with this pattern again. So now you're doing the 3 tog over the spaces. So in the space, in the double crochet, in the space. Now you've made a 3 tog, chain 2, and then a double crochet into the top of that 3 tog from the row before, chain 2. Oops, I want to get that out of the way so you can see. Then we'll do a 3 tog over these spaces again. So in the space, in the double crochet, in the space, there's your 3 tog, chain 2, double crochet in the top of the 3 tog from the row before. You'll do that all the way around, and remember, when you come back around, you will do your slip stitch into the 3rd chain, so that will count as your double crochet, and then you'll still have your 2 chain here. And then you'll repeat row 4, which is to do your half of your 3 tog and continue your pattern around and finish it when you come back around. So you'll want to continue to alternate rows 3 and 4 again until you have 18 rows total, starting with this. So we were on row 4. You'll want to do that 14 more times. So once you have 18 rows, come back here and we'll talk about the next row after that. Okay, so I have finished 18 rows of our pattern that we have just talked about, and you should have something that looks like this. It's really beautiful. It's got that nice edge to it of just all the double crochets, and then that nice pattern that we talked about for 18 rows. So now we're going to do a decrease row, and then we're going to start on the skirt portion. This is kind of the bottom edge, and now we're going to do the skirt. So what I did when I finished that 18th row is I went ahead and did a slip stitch and to the top here. And so to do our 19th row is going to be a decrease row. So the first thing you want to do is slip stitch over into this chain 2 space, and we're going to be working in all the chain 2 spaces all the way around. Okay, so you'll want to go ahead and do a slip stitch into the chain 2 space, and that just gets you lined up, right, so that you're now working in that chain 2 space. And for starters, you'll do a chain 3, which will count as your first double crochet. And in this first chain 2 space, we want 3 double crochets. So there's 1, and then you're going to add 2 more, and you'll have a total of 3 double crochets in that first chain 2 space. Okay, now the next couple of the next 4 chain 2 spaces is going to represent a little pattern for this. So you're going to do 2 double crochets in this first chain 2 space. There's 1 and 2, and then 3 double crochets in each of the next 3. Okay, so we'll do 3 double crochets here, okay, 3 double crochets in the next chain 2 space, and then 3 double crochets in the next chain 3 space, or excuse me, chain 2 space. Okay, so let's just take a look at that really quickly. So this was our first one where we started the row that has 3 in it. Now you have 2 double crochet, 3 double crochet, 3 double crochet, 3 double crochet. So that pattern, those 4 right there, 2, 3, 3, 3, you want to repeat that 17 times. So if you continue on, you're going to go 2, 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3. So in every chain 2 space, you want to repeat that pattern. So you want to do that 17 times. When you do that 17 times, the next set that you do is going to be 2 again, and then 3 for the rest of the round. But after you do your 17 times, come back here and we'll just finish up. It should take you right around here, and then we'll just finish up this decrease row, and then we can start on the skirt. So what we just did, 2, 3, 3, 3, 17 times total, and then we'll meet back here. Okay, so we went ahead and did that pattern of 2, 3, 3, 3 all the way around 17 times. And now we're almost to the end. And to finish this off to the start of that row, we're going to start the pattern again like normal. So 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space. And then for all the remaining chain 2 spaces, we're going to do 3 double crochets. So in this particular case, I actually have 4 chain 2 spaces left. Right, so there's 1, here's 2, oops, here's the next chain 2 space, this is coming apart a little bit, the plies on here, and I want to make sure it's neat. So okay, and then I have 1 more right here that we need to put 3 double crochets in. Now if you're doing the size small like I am doing here, you should end now with 204 stitches all the way around. If you just count all these stitches all the way around, and then of course counting that chain 3 space at the beginning as a double crochet, you should now have 204 stitches. So we're going to go ahead and slip stitch this into the top of the chain 3 from the beginning of the round, and that will finish out that decrease row. So this is the full bottom border, the lower border of this skirt. So you have that beautiful bottom row to start, this nice pattern here, and then a similar pattern from the very first row where we did a bunch of double crochets, but in this case we decreased by some of them having only 2 double crochets in the spaces instead of 3. So that gave us a little bit of a decrease for that particular round.